Good evening, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well out there today. Oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. As soon as I got off work today, I just fell out. Like I'm just so like I don't know, mentally exhausted. Uh, I'm sure people can see that I'm tired. I got 3 more days left until the office closes, and then that's it. You know. But it's just been a lot of work. Today was pretty stressful. I was hoping to go out, and ease, but it just seems like the closer the day gets, it just seems like more stress comes upon you because you have very few days left to get anything done. And we were lifting up boxes and everything today. I had to help the lady, so I had to do a lot of lifting, and then I thought I got a hemorrhoid. Because when you lift wrong, you feel like your rectum muscles are getting all spazzed out and tight. So I thought that I felt something there. I was like, "Ooh!" So I'm like, I hope I don't have no problems there. I don't feel any pain or nothing. It just felt like the rectum muscles kind of got tight down there when I was lifting up those heavy boxes. And then of course, what stressed me out more than ever was those insurance companies. I went off on them today. I had enough, and then of course, yeah, I had a situation with the pharmacy, and so that was a whole nother thing. They held me on for like 40 minutes, and I just had like a whole like tension, like pains develop on the like left side of my head. Like they all pissed me the hell off today. Oh gosh, I was so angry leaving work today. I was so mad. Between the insurance company and that girl at the pharmacy, I was just so angry. Like, you know, I got a lot of work done, but it was just trying to squeeze everything in, and then with that last patient, the pharmacist had a nerve to sit there and lie to the patient and say that, there was nothing called in to the pharmacy when there was. And then I finally, and she kept putting me back on hold. Every time I said, "Hello, this is such and such from this doctor's office." I was like, "What is she doing?" And I'm sitting there for like 40 minutes on hold. And I'm like going into overtime now. I'm like, "Oh, come on. Let's go, lady. You're doing this on purpose. You're telling my patient to come back an hour later when the medication is there." She tries to lie and say that. So I'm getting pissed off already. I'm steam off as it is. And my head is like, getting tension headache on, like, I'm getting angry, ready to snap on somebody. So eventually, she answers after 40 minutes of putting me on hold, and then says, "Oh, we don't have it here." I said, can I speak to the pharmacist? I've been on here for 40 minutes. I was yelling at her. I was so angry. Like I went off. Like I said, I said, I was on here for 40 minutes. I said, what is going on? The patient's been sitting there, and he told me that you told him that you come back in an hour when the medicine was already there. She lied and said it wasn't in the system. When I spoke to the pharmacist, he says, "No, it's here and we have it in stock." Ooh, I went off. I was not happy. So if I look tired and stressed, that's why. I'm like, I had it with these people today. So, I, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm livid. But got home, I just fell out, and then got up. Now I'm like wide awake. I'm gonna try to go back to sleep by midnight because I don't want to be up all night. I got to stay on a schedule. But oh boy, I'm not. Mama Kenny's so angry today. My head is now like feeling off. I'm like, oh, I gotta get a coffee, and I did some prune juice too because I'm trying to get myself to do a laxative, just in case. Because I've been like feeling hungry. I don't know, like my appetite has been crazy today. Like I've been wanting food all day long, like more than usual. Because I went through a period where my body didn't want food as much, and now all of a sudden I'm just looking at videos. As soon as I was looking at videos of like salmon, and I want Brussels sprouts. I want sweet yams. I want some crispy chicken. I'm just hungry. I don't know what's wrong with me. Oh, wait, let me go get some coffee. But yes, at first I was going to have wine, but for some reason I'm just turned off with the idea of having wine right now. I don't know if I want wine. Ugh. Excuse me, booby. What'd you say over there? Want to say hi? Oh boy. Uh, let's see if I get you know, oh, this has a crack in it. I'm gonna get some water. So I'm gonna rinse this out. But yeah, I don't know why. At first I wanted to do a wine stream, and I'm just not craving wine right now. You know, like I feel like I want coffee, so that's what I'm gonna do. I changed it. I said coffee topic of the night instead. Give me 1 second. Put this into my Keurig machine. So yeah, so that's where we're going to be doing the topic of the night. I don't want to make it too long. It's called The Biggest Coward of Them All, and so I'll go into that. And it's something I was thinking about the other day. And let's see, is this ready? You know, my mind was, you know, how I go into my thinking mode a lot, so I want to talk about it. It's pretty. It's a lot of truth to it. What I'm going to say. I still feel like irritable and moody. Oh boy. My mother-in-law, she gave me this rum chata cream liquor thing. She says I could put that in my coffee, but I don't know. I'm not going to put that in today. Maybe another night. I also have to clean this house again. My room is like making me feel. Let me see that room real quick. Yeah. I don't know, the room. I mean, it's just feeling a little disorganized in here to me. So what I'm going to do is tomorrow when I wake up, because outside out there in my living room and stuff is all clean and organized, you know? And so, you know, I don't have to do too much out there, but my bathroom, I want to clean it again. And then this room here, I want to clean it really thoroughly tomorrow. Hopefully hubby don't take up the room space tomorrow, because a lot of times in the day he does this. Oh, I feel it again. Oh, yeah, it started this earlier today, this stupid thing. I'm gonna make some coffee and just relax. I was so angry with that whole thing. Oh, it's all right here. Ugh. I often thought to myself, like, maybe I should go see a masseuse and just get a nice full body massage and head massage and neck massage and just have them stretch out my body and, you know, just drop off those pounds of stress that that these people are putting upon me. Oh my God. Oh, one thing I'm not gonna miss is this bullshit. I really am not. I'm not gonna miss that at all. Oh gosh. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I was in the office by myself today. It wasn't bad, you know. It was just that, you know. Honestly, I would rather lift boxes and do heavy labor than to deal with all that. That's when my headache started. And then even patients. I mean, I like, you know, I could deal with patients, but with that kind of stuff, insurance companies and shady behind workers like that, I don't know. That was, I don't know which one was worse. So yeah. Oh, that's my husband. He's already getting irritated with the game. You better not irritate me today. I heard him kind of grumping when I came out the room. As soon as I came out, because he likes everything quiet. Like he only likes to hear himself out there. So when he's on the video game, he hears me and slides away. I could be literally just washing dishes and, just, singing really lightly while I'm doing the dishes. And then he'll just come out of nowhere. And he's like, and I'm like, oh Lord. I say, Matthew, I'm cleaning dishes. I want to relax. I want to sing. Leave me alone. So I could tell he's grumpy, and I just don't need to go through another third episode of yelling at somebody today. Oh boy. Let me go get my coffee here. Oh Lord. Oh. Oh. Get this. Yeah. Organic. Okay. That's what he gets for murmuring about my back. Oh boy. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna take a couple sips. So I don't even want no wine. You know what? This is kind of hot in this room too. Let me just lower this down to 60. That was another thing that was irritating me, was that the heat. Oh boy. So yes. So I was thinking of this topic here the other day. I was driving, and I was thinking about the biggest coward of them all, right? And you know how a lot of people feel like if they're the loudest in the room, or they are the ones that are outspoken, right? A lot of times they think that, oh, that's a sign of courage or bravery. Or I stand my ground. They tend to have a mouth on them, and they think that makes them brave, or they think that makes them the greatest. But a lot of times the people that are the loudest in the rooms are the most cowardly, or they're the most weak sometimes, you know? And just because somebody's outspoken and they got a mouth does not mean that they're somebody that is courageous or brave, or somebody that tends to be strong. Sometimes those kind of people react on their emotions, on things. Sometimes they're in a crowd of people, so they want to sound loud and they want to sound big and bad, but they really aren't. And a lot of times they're very unwise. They tend to speak without thinking. They tend to go at people without thinking. And I thought of this because I know that I've heard this a lot. Sometimes you listen to people or certain videos, or you talk to people and they'll tell you something like that, and you'll be like, what? Just because somebody is outspoken and they're loud and they got a big mouth don't mean that they're brave. Sometimes they're the biggest cowards of them all. I've heard the saying before, right? Where people will say, oh, that person, they're a coward, they can't speak, they can't say nothing, yeah, they too scared, they're a punk, blah 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 blah, right? But what I think about people like that tend to say things like that about people who don't defend themselves? I think they're the biggest coward in the world. I think the biggest coward in the world is somebody that picks on the cowardly, if you get what I'm saying. Somebody that goes after someone they think is cowardly. The person that picks on the weak, the vulnerable, the innocent, the ones that are meek and quiet and kind, you know? And I could tell you right now, like, I've had my own experiences along with seeing other people's experiences where there is people that will like to try you, and they like to sit back and say different things or come at you about the fact that, you can't, what you going to say now, da da da, and they're coming at you, right? But it's like you're going after somebody is not quick to defend themselves, or you're going after somebody that do not really speak on certain matters. And to me, I think that's the biggest coward in the world. I think that's the most cowardly person in the world, somebody that attacks the weak, the vulnerable, the innocent, and the cowardly. If there's someone that they think is cowardly in their eyes and they're lower than them, why would you pick on somebody that you feel wouldn't defend themselves? And I've been a victim to some people like that back in the days. I've been a victim to stuff like that. And I'm not the only one. I've seen many people that have been a victim to that. And they've been attacked by people that that tend to seem loud, to seem like they're tough, big and bad, and they're outspoken, and they think they own something. But the truth is that they won't do that in real life to someone's face. Half of the things they would do, they wouldn't do it to somebody else they feel will kick their ass. And a big part of that I've seen a lot of that on social media. Social media, a lot of people feel like they have protection to say whatever they want, to do whatever they want, come at people, bully people, right? But guess what? If they had to meet half of the people they bully in real life, they wouldn't have the balls to. That's the truth, because they know they would get an ass whipping by most people. Half of the things they do online, on all these platforms and stuff, they would get their ass beaten. And they would be too scared to want to face anyone. They'll be the first people going and calling the police, but yet want to sit back and talk about people. Oh yeah, they can't. Yeah, that's why they ain't say nothing, huh? Because that's right. Because they know that I will come at them. Da da da. You like, first of all, honey, you pick on somebody is quiet and not going to say nothing, or they're probably smart enough not to, because they know you're the coward that will go and call the police. But in real life, you wouldn't meet that person and do half of the shit you say you're going to do. But you will go and attack them online, and you'll sit there and talk garbage about them online, and you will attack them personally and come at them. But in real life, you'd be running to the police. So who's the real coward? So it's something I thought about the other day, because I've seen this a lot and I've observed it over the years. And it's something I've always thought about. And I say, the biggest coward of them all is the one that sits back and picks on the cowardly, the picks on the weak, the ones they think is weak, the ones they think is quiet. But while all yet, they don't realize. Oh, this camera is like freezing up here. Oh boy, I don't know why it's freezing up. What is it doing? Oh Lord. Okay. All the while yet, they don't realize that sometimes, and this is very true, sometimes the weakest person in the room is one of the strongest people in the room. Some of the strongest people that are around are the weakest people, right? Sometimes the weakest person is the strongest person. They know how to take hits from people. They know how to take blows from people. But all the while, yet people underestimate them a lot. They tend to think, oh, they won't say nothing. They'll keep getting away with things for such a long time. But sometimes the quiet ones, the least talkative, quiet ones that come off weak are the most dangerous. And they're the ones that, okay, you know what? I can be weak, but keep messing with me and I'll show you another side of me. I'll show you how strong I really can be. I took blows for a long time, but now I'm losing my patience. And those are the ones you don't want to mess with. And so, I thought about that a lot of times. And when that person that they thought was weak come at them, they are all like shocked, like, I don't understand. Oh, they're attacking me. Oh, I feel it. And all of a sudden they turn into the victim and they're the coward, Because at the end of the day, they're a bunch of bullies. And they're the weak ones. They're weak for picking on someone they think is weak. Go pick on someone your own size. Go pick on somebody that's going to level up to you in your face. And let's see how big and bad you really are. And I could tell you that more than half of those kind of people won't do it. You know, we think that bullying is only a childhood thing. You know, we think that when we're bullying only exists when we are children and we're in childhood. But you know what? That's not true. Bullying goes further past childhood. It goes past your adulthood. It goes into your senior years. There's people that are victim to bullying all the time. You know, I could tell a story, right? And this is when I was a young kid, but this is an example of what I mean by sometimes the weakest person could be the strongest person in the room. And how the person that's trying to target is the weakest link. I will never forget when I was younger. I think I was in seventh grade, going into eighth grade. I was young, you know what I mean? So we were kids, but this is just a prime example of what I'm talking about because, you know, unfortunately, like I said, it doesn't end in childhood. It goes on past adulthood. And I've seen it. But I remember being seventh grade going into eighth grade. And, you know, I had a history, you know, I have history of like a lot of social anxiety, anxiousness around people. I've never been the type to really speak up on a lot of matters. I would just let things slide. It's very passive. And it was a weakness of mine. But, you know, when I was in school, there was a girl that, you know, sat at my table. She was a big breasted girl, real huge. Looked like she was an adult, like she was real big. I remember that. And she was from the same town as I was. She was from Brooklyn, just like me. You know, Brooklyn, New York. So, you know, she eventually revealed that later. But for some reason, she just had a problem with me. You know, what happened was she made up a lie on me and told a boy that I wanted to suck his wee-wee. And I found out I wasn't too happy. So the next thing you know, the girl had a problem with me after that. You know, because I expressed that I was not too happy with her. And, you know, I said, why is she making up these lies? I would never say that. Yeah. You know, so now all of a sudden she's threatening me. Every day she's sitting at my table. It gets to the point she even turns my friends against me. But no matter what, I never moved from my table. So every day she would come and she'll just keep nagging and nagging and nagging and nagging. And I'll just keep ignoring her. And then she literally sat right across from me. And I had my other two friends sitting there next to us and they were scared of her. But me, I wasn't scared of her. So I'm sitting there eating my apple. Yeah, keep eating that apple, girl, because, you know, you're going to need that health. You're going to need that strength because, you know, when I come beat your ass, it ain't going to be a problem. And I just kept looking at her. I said, is that right? I'd be like, yeah. It's like, okay. I'm from Brooklyn, okay? I said, so am I. I'm from Brooklyn, too. Yeah. And I wouldn't like, you know, I just smile with a smile like, yeah, I'm from Brooklyn, too. You know, she's thinking that I'm this weakling, I'm this girl that's not good, and she just keep yapping. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. So she stands up over me, right? She stands up, she's looking at me down, she's big, she got big arms. Yeah, what are you gonna do about it now? Da, 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 da. Yeah, because you're talking a lot, and da, da, da. And I'm just sitting there like, yep, I'm talking a lot. Yeah, because I'm about to put you in the hospital, da, 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 da. I said, okay, we'll see about that. And then, so she just kept talking. I'm done with her. I'm done. And she over there walking up, right? Of course, she probably got that from her mother. Mother's probably the same way. You know, a lot of times that's where kids get it from their cowardly parents talking like that. So I'm just sitting there ignoring her. So she walks away. And it was like this for about maybe, I would say 2 months straight. She was doing this, just constant. I'm going to fight her. I'm just done. I'm done. She's trying to get people to join her and people are joining her. And you know, coming at me. Guess what, Candace? She said she's about to beat you up. She's gonna kick your ass because you were sitting there talking about her and stuff. And I wasn't talking about it, but I just looked at them. I knew that wasn't true, but I was type person that just didn't say anything. I was like, oh, okay. It's like, well, you have a good day. And I just kept ignoring her, right? So, you know, and I didn't give eye contact like that. So I'll just look real quick. I was like, okay, all right. And I just looked down like that because I always had trouble eye contact with people for a long time. It just got me anxiety when I look at people in the eyes. It just felt too intimate. So I was like, okay. So people automatically took it as a weakness. So one day I came and told my mother, I said, Mom, this girl, she keeps hounding me down at school, and I'm getting angry and I'm losing my patience with her. And my mom says, oh, well, what's she doing? I said, she's over here talking about she's gonna fight me and stuff like that. And I'm trying my best to, not get into a fight. I want to have good grade. I don't want to be in trouble. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be wise here. But if she hits me, I'm gonna beat her up. I'm gonna knock her out. My mom says, the next time she starts with you, I want you to go in there and whip her ass, beat her ass down. My mother told me kick her ass good in, like New York, Brooklyn style. Okay, she want to talk about she from Brooklyn. Show what the other side you got, because my mom knows what side I got, but she hasn't seen it. So we also beat her ass and beat her. I slam a glass over her head and knock her out. I said okay. So my mom says, if she keeps it up, I'll come to that school and whip her mother's ass, and so I was like, okay. So I went up, I just started having visions running in my head about how I'm going to beat this chick up and I'm going to bite her breast off and everything. My mom says, bite her breast, everything. I said, I wasn't playing. I was like, at that time, I just had some crazy thoughts running in my head. Like, okay, this woman's pissing me off and she keeps talking about me and I'm about to beat her up and I'll rip her bra off and I'm going to bite her breast off and knock her out. I was like, I'm gonna damage her. And that's how I felt back then. That's how I got, I started thinking crazy. So then went to the school and, I started noticing that people were throwing like paper planes. They had paper planes back then. I don't know if people do that anymore, but she was throwing paper planes. So I'm sitting there and I'm just, this during, I think it was during gym time, but for some reason we weren't doing gym that day. I don't remember why. We were dressed and we were sitting on bleachers. And she's throwing paper planes, right? And I see it's going near my way. So I'm like, and I see it going near me. So I look at the paper plane and they go, she ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, because I know she knows not to mess with me. And I'm sitting there like this and looking over like that. And I just give them this look like this, like, okay. And then she's trying to throw it again. So I took the paper plane and I threw it back. I went like this. Whoop. Oh no, she did not. And I just turned around like this. And then I just sat there with my books, just sitting there looking at her. And I told somebody and I warned them. And I said, okay, all I want her to do is to provoke me. So my mother told me, whatever you do, Candace, let her hit you first. So that way you can beat her ass so bad to a bloody pulp, like beat her bad. When my mom said beat her bad. And that's what I was ready to do. So she sat there, she did it again, and all the girls, yeah, she don't, trying to act like she ain't know what's going on, and they're sitting there, right? But they don't realize, like, they're just so cowardly, just sitting there thinking they're picking on someone they think is weak. So one day, I told my mom, I said, okay, that's it. Tomorrow, I'm confronting her, and I'm gonna get in her face. And I want her to hit me, because after that, my mom says, don't hit her first, let her hit you first. Tell her no, that this is it, that you're ready to kick her ass, or just tell her, okay, come over here. You want to fight? Go right, fight me, hit me right now. And I said, okay. And that's exactly what I did. I said, okay, Candace's about to, she's about to see the other side of me. So I go up to the place the next day, and she's standing in the yard and she's staring at me and going, I don't know, I'm about ready to fight. And I walked right up to her. And when I say that, I'll pretend this is her here. Okay. And I walked right up to her, and I came in and I came up to her. I said, her name was Jasmine. I said, Jasmine. So she wasn't used to me just calling her out like that. And people stand, oh shoot, what's going to happen? I said, Jasmine, I said, you said you wanted to fight? You wanted to beat me up? Come get it. Come here. I said, and she didn't want to come near me. So I went near her face. I went up to her. I said, come on, you said you want to fight, huh? I said, all right. I said, show me what you're going to do. I said, show me what you're going to do. And I put my face near her face. I said, show me what you're going to do, because I'm ready for you. I said, show me what you're going to do. And people was like, oh my goodness. They were just standing. They were so shocked, because it went for months. They didn't expect me to do that. So I got in her face. I said, show me. All I need you to do is give one hit. Because I said, all you need to do is provoke me. Because I said, all I need is just for you to provoke me so I can show you what I'm going to do to you. And then I had my face right up near her nose, everything, all up in her, my breath, everything up on her face. I said, go ahead, do something about it. Do something. Come on. And I started laughing. She was just sitting there. She was shocked because she thought like this skinny chick who was quiet for months was not going to say nothing. And I got right in her face. I was blowing my breath and everything all her, and she wasn't going to do nothing about it. So, and that was not the first time I got into someone's face. I actually got into somebody's face with my nose touching their nose and everything back in 2014. That was bad of me, and I was an adult, and I should have never done that, but the chick just kept provoking me, and that was it. So, and I could have gone. I mean, they were trying to press charges on me at times, and thankfully they didn't. But but at the time, that was the first time I ever got to somebody's face. I had enough. And I was like, you want to play games? All right, let's see it. Let's see about it, right? And I said, go ahead, go do something. Because she over there, I'll whip you. I said, all right. And I kept putting my face up in her face. Go, all right, go ahead and touch me. I said, come on. I said, I just want to show you what I could do to you. And I was just sitting there smiling at her. She walked to it like this. I ain't got time for you. I ain't got time for you. I don't got time for you. All right, I ain't got time. I said, punk. I yelled at her 3 times, punk. And there's, punk. And they were so shocked because they were so used to me being weak, showing my weak side, quiet, meek. And that was when they were the loudest. But the day they saw that I had another side, I can be as big and bad as you are, if not worse. I will tell you, I will beat your ass, and I told her I would beat it. She, I told her what I was going to do to her. I told somebody, I said, I'm going to bite her breast right off. I'm going to do exactly what I said I'm going to do, because I was very premeditative. You pissed me off. And so then after that, the next day, she came back. She didn't say nothing to me after that. She came back. She sat at the same table as usual. The 2 girls that were scared of her, that was friends with both of us, they all of a sudden was like, hey, Candace, how you doing? All of a sudden, they were being nice. I knew they were being fake, but I just, at the time, just kind of dealt with them. I was like, oh, okay, hi, how you doing? And I'm just like, yeah, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's it going? Yeah, we told Jasmine that we're going to be your friend again. And they realized, like, okay, this chick is not playing. She's not as weak as we thought she was. She may have a lot of issues, but I trust and believe this one I don't want to mess with. So after that, Jasmine became my friend after that. She never picked on me again. She was my friend after that. Matter of fact, she's my friend on Facebook. We're friends on here to this day. She never, I mean, of course, we're adults now, but at the time, she was a bully, and she probably got it from her parents, and that was it. So, my whole narrative, the whole point of what I'm trying to say is that sometimes we get this idea that when people don't speak up or they don't say things, they must be cowardly. But sometimes you coming at them, you're the biggest coward in the world. Because then a lot of times that same person that you were picking at and jumping at, guess what? That's the same person that when they come at you, when they show you that, okay, I'm not playing today. I've been kind, and I've been trying to avoid this, but now you're about to get it. And all of a sudden, I'm calling the police. And this happened many times. I've seen this. Calling the police because now they're not used to seeing the other side of you. And so, a lot of times I think that's why a lot of people that are, especially on social media, I think the biggest cowards hide behind a mask on social media, and they attack people. They come at people and talk about what they're going to do and this and this and that. And it's like, you behind a keyboard, come in real life to somebody. Let's see what you're going to do about it. Because half of the things they do online, they would never do to someone's face, ever. They'll never. They'll go run to the cops. That's what they would do, because that's how cowardly they are. And I'm very much under the assumption over the years, like my observation, like with social media and stuff and different platforms, I just think that a lot of the people that do those things, half of them are narcissists. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I really am starting to believe that a lot of them are narcissistic, and it's just their way to control someone. And if you think about it, narcissists are the biggest cowards because they love to pick on the vulnerable and the weak in their eyes, not realizing and overlooking their whole weakness. They have control issues. They want to get you to control and get you out of character and then play victim after that. And that's what they do. All of a sudden, now they ain't loud so much anymore. They want to turn everything on you and gaslight you. And that's what they do. I feel like that's their means of control, and it's a form of narcissism. So, I think deep into a lot of these things. And it's interesting. Who would want to come after somebody that is innocent, that is minding their business? And I've seen this. I've seen this so many times. Want to get loud and attack somebody that they feel is weak and coward. That's the biggest coward in the world. If you want to talk about someone being a coward, you're the coward doing something like that. You know? But it was just something I thought about. I was thinking about the other day, and I said, let's make a good topic, but I just didn't have time because I've been, running around working and running around and trying to take care of different things and working late nights. And then, with the holidays, I was with my in-laws, everything. So I just figured out, since I woke up at this time and I don't feel like going back to sleep just right yet, I'm going to go back to bed around midnight. I figure I'd come on and do it now. It's a food for thought. It's something to think about. It's something that irritates me too a lot. That people think that when someone don't say anything, or they're not the loudest in the room and they ain't got a mouth and they ain't speaking up, all of a sudden they're cowardly. Maybe there's some truth to that. But you know what? You're the biggest coward in the world if you're going to be sitting there attacking them. Because the truth is that sometimes, like I said before, sometimes the weakest person is the strongest person in the room. They're the ones that you don't want to unleash problems with. And a lot of times, what they're afraid of? They're afraid of themselves. That person you think is weak, they are afraid of themselves because they're afraid of how they will react and what they will do to someone. So sometimes when you see a person that's just quiet, they're to themselves, they're meek, they're kind. Yeah, they are very kind, but they're very patient. They tend to avoid things, or they tend to like to settle things very quick, or they like to try to de-escalate the issue. It could be very possible. It's not just the fact they don't like peace. They very much do like peace, probably. But a lot of times, too, it's because they know what they can do to you. They know they're dangerous, and they're like thinking, is it worth me trying to put my life on the line for someone else? Is it worth me ruining my life because I'm going to beat the shit out of this person one day, and I'm going to end up going to jail, and they're going to play victim. They're going to run to the police. So, it's just food for thought, But I can relate many times with that, where there's a lot of cowardly people out there. And I could tell you that I've been, and this is true, like back then, right? When I used to go, for a good example, I saw my social media, when I used to go into the newsrooms back years and years ago, my biggest attackers were men. And to me, I feel like a man that can attack a woman, get mad at a woman and want to fight her and stuff, I think that's one of the biggest cowards in the world. That's cowardly. You want to attack a woman and fight at her. I thought about it, and I'm like, why would a man, even if a woman's being bitchy, I want to microwave my coffee here. This is just another thought I thought about, right? Because I think about this a lot. And I'm like, how are you a man walking around pounding your fist to your chest? How is that attractive to a woman when you out there attacking women like a coward? You want to act big and bad, troll women, come at them, talking about she's doing this and that to me. Okay, fine. She's doing what to you? Okay, you're a man. A man don't sit there and let a woman sit here and bother him like that. That's a coward. You don't sit there and get a woman is mad at you. She's talking shit. No man's gonna want to fight with someone that's not on his level. He's gonna say, okay, let her, whatever. Let me block her. And what's the sad part was that I wasn't a woman attacking anybody. I was just speaking my mind about things. And guess what? I had many men, but a lot of them were cowardly, narcissistic type of men. And I wasn't the only one. There was many other women being attacked in there. That I would observe things. And I'm the type of person that observes things very deeply. And I say, it's very cowardly when a man feels that he has to attack a woman, overpower her. When if you're a real man, you don't have to say anything. A woman's just going to respect you. And if she don't respect you, right, you can block her. Why are you going to fight with a woman and come attacking her and try? That does not make you look powerful at all. That makes you look weak as hell. Seriously. You know, I'm gonna go get put some coffee, especially a woman that didn't do anything to you. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in. Yes, baby. Did you say something? Okay. I know. Yeah, don't complain. Don't make Mama Candy crazy. Make me start. Okay. Just microwave my coffee. All right. But yeah, so yeah, back to what I was saying. So yeah, that was something I thought about. I said I think a lot of the guys that I saw and came across because I saw them picking on other women on there, you know, and I thought to myself, they must be narcissists or something. You know, that is so weak. Like, how do they think that I would ever take them serious when they say they are a man and they this? You ain't no real man. Yeah, at least you're a weak one that's going to sit there and attack a woman and fight with a woman and argue with a woman and argue in her fights and be picking on, like, what's wrong with you? You know, so when I see men do that, you know, especially now that I'm older now and I look at that and I say, you know, that really is kind of not, mm, that's very cowardly. I think that's the biggest coward in the world. It's a man that attacks a woman. I don't care if I can see, okay, if a woman is touching you and she's harassing you, but if a woman's harassing you, right, it's common sense. You call the police on her, don't talk to her anymore. But then I started realizing around a lot of, in just a lot of situations, a lot of people say they feel attacked, but they really like what they're doing. They really like being attacked. They like the attention. So I think a lot of times that maybe, and this was my opinion. I thought that these men might have had low self-esteem, or that, you know, they felt low about themselves, and they just liked the idea of this woman attacking them and coming at them. But again, like, you attacking them back, you just look cowardly. You weak as hell. The only thing I could think of is either you just a coward, or you really love the idea of being attacked by this person. And that's the only thing I could think of, you know? But what was worse is when the woman wasn't attacking you, she was just voicing her opinion. You didn't like her opinion. So now you want to attack her and come at her and do like a gang stalking and all this stuff. And I'm like, that is crazy. I'm like, what? And I'm gonna tell you, and this is true story. Now, I don't mention names because, you know, I'm not here to, you know, put people under the bus or throw, you know, bring up, you know, person's name and have people bringing up things from the past. But it's something that I can relate to on that, where I was a victim of bullying, you know, online from a male at one point. Very jealous male. And I just remember they were mad because I said I did not want to be their friend. And seeing that the way they operated, I said, I don't want to talk to you like that. And just because I said that, you know, I didn't want to talk to them and I wanted to start bullying me. And I was quiet for a little while when they were attacking me, but it got to the point, like I said, where I snap. And back then you didn't have the block functions back then. So, you know, I can understand why somebody would probably get annoyed. Say, you know what, leave me alone, stop bothering me. Because back then, you know, you're trying to have a talk and you didn't have the block functions back in 2017. And the person just kept trying me, threatening me, saying very insulting things, all because somebody rejected their friendship and say, I don't want to talk to you no more. You know, leave me alone. I don't want nothing to do with you. Where do you think you could do people wrong and then you can talk to them still? Like, where do you think that? That's a narcissistic kind of behavior. So it got to a point where this person kept messing with me, and then it got very serious. I said, okay, now you want to play around, now you want to see the other side of me now. Now I'm going to start coming at you now. And that was their goal. See, I was stupid back then, you know? But again, I didn't think about that. But again, my whole point of bringing this up is because when I started coming back at them, they were the same person I was doing what? Trying to call the police when my husband got involved. So, you know, that is a good example of what I mean by a lot. Sometimes people that are the loudest, that likes to attack, come at people, you know, that want to come at people they know is kind-hearted, that's good-hearted, that they feel is weak, they're the biggest cowards in the world, especially after a woman. You know, And then when they find out you ain't playing and you about to come up to come see them or whatever, it's like, okay, let's see in real life what you're going to do. And all of a sudden they want to call cops. They want to run off, talk about, I'm being threatened. All while yet they don't tell people what they do, you know? So, it's something I thought about. Yes? Oh, you want to switch? Oh, you want to kick me out of the room. But yeah, so it's a good example of what I'm talking about. Like, and I've seen this with many different people, and not just on YouTube. I've seen on Facebook. I know about it because my coworker is on a platform, it's another streaming platform, on a whole nother platform. And she's been attacked by people on there too, because they know she's nice and she's kind. And when she says something, they find something to accuse her of or fight after her for it. And you hear them threatening and doing all this stuff online. But half of those people on there, again, would never do half of the stuff they say they're going to do if they met someone in real life. But and the whole thing is, now that I'm older, I'm a little bit more wiser now to know that a lot of times that's their way of controlling you. So if they can't control you any other way with fear, they like to get you out of character because that's the only way it forms of controlling you, that's why I say I believe that all links to narcissism, a form of narcissism. I'm going to bring this coffee out there because hubby wants his room now. Kicking me out here. Got one more hour to bedtime. I hope I can sleep. What happened? Let's see. You are. But so yeah, so that's I thought about that. I said that's very much sounds like a lot of narcissistic kind of behavior. And I think that social media is a big advantage for narcissistic kind of people. A lot of people that have narcissistic personality issues, they have narcissistic traits about themselves. A lot of them use social media, different platforms, as a way to act out whatever they want to act out on people. And so they want to control. Their whole thing, you have to remember, their whole thing is about control and overpowering and feeling the sense of greatness above someone else. So, they could just, they'll find something. If they can't get you to be afraid of them, they will do other things to keep getting under your skin to get you to react a certain way. And I know this is true about narcissists. And I know, and this is someone I know in real life now, not online. This is off the line. They come off very nice and to other people, right? And this person I know because of my friend. So I've seen it. And this is a person in real life I know where they come off nice. It's a man. And comes off like so sweet and kind to everybody, and comes off cool. Someone say something to him down the street, he's over there ignoring it. When she says something, here's the fist coming out. Here's he telling them off, and here's them trying to put them in the hospital and beat them up. And you're like, what the hell? And you're getting calls and messages. You're like, wow. So he would never do that to a man in real life. That's in his face, but he's gonna do it to a woman. And my friend told me that. I said, wow, that's really sad. And then it got to a point where this girl stopped fighting with him, arguing with him. She's not even scared of him. That is to a point where she don't even argue with him anymore. She just does her own thing, minds her business. So now he's doing things to purposely nitpick at her. So now he goes over there, he does things on purpose. Like he knows she has a fear with the vacuum going near her foot. So he did it on purpose one day, and knowing that it was going to upset her, he goes like this, tired of your OCD. And she was like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you putting that? I don't like that. So then she said, what? I'm leaving. So he would do things to get angry, break stuff, get her out of character. So she's told me recently that she noticed that he's been getting a lot more worse since the time she's been ignoring him. I said, why? Because he can't control you anymore. And he's getting upset because you're not giving him the negative reaction he wants. So because you're not giving him that negative reaction, you're not fair. Now he wants to get you out of character, to find something to accuse you of. And that's what he did one time. He went on the phone with his family
and said, this woman, she's attacking me. She's, she's coming at me. She's blah, 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 blah. And it's like, the sad part is that the father, the stepfather, believes him. The stepfather is the same way with his woman. So when she comes on, tells everything he does to her, he's like going off her. It's your fault. That's why this happened to you. And that's what they do. They like to turn everything around, turn the tables around, and get you out of character, keep you fighting with them, keep you in a loop so they can find something to keep accusing you of, and at the same time be able to control you. And they don't like the idea of seeing any peace or joy in you. They like to dim your light. And that's something I learned about a lot of narcissistic type of people. But yeah, I think about that a lot, and I say, wow, so those kind of people must love using social media as a platform to bully other people. And that's why I say that childhood bullying is not the only thing. Bullying don't end in childhood. It don't end at all. It keeps going on. It may not be the same as it was when you were a child, but it's done differently, But that's what I have for today. I got to get off because I made on here for 15 minutes. It's 11:11. I got one more hour. I'm going to try to get back to sleep because I have to be up in the morning. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic, and it's just a food for thought, something to just deep reflect on, All right. I'm going to get going. Take care, guys, and God bless. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.